Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampACrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me for another live video tutorial today. Today we are going to make a Get Well Soon card. I have two sets cut, so we're gonna do a masculine and a feminine. We're using the Pretty Florals for the feminine, and this is just images, so we need some sentiment. So I picked the Friendly Foliage since we're doing a Get Well card because this has some good Get Well sentiments on it. And then we'll use this one for the, oh, I hear tornado sirens going off. Sorry, should have waited a couple more minutes. But we're going to use this one for the masculine. Now, I just decided this right before I turned the camera on, so you know, no practice with our masculine one, but my friend Laura, her husband was in a car accident and he's had surgery and recovering, so I wanted to make him a card. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm very excited. We're getting ready to go to Long Beach in California for the Stampin' Up! On-Stage convention, and looking forward to seeing a lot of friends, to seeing some sneak peeks, to getting the new mini catalog, or the new May to August catalog, and just learning some new things. So lots of swaps. I'm just very excited. So we do have a new online exclusives this month, so make sure to check that out. And I think that's all for now. So let's get started. All right, so the base of our cards is going to be crushed curry. Now this is a card we made at Stampery. I can't remember if I said that or not. I have a piece of white. It's gonna go all the way across, so that's 5.5 inches wide. And then I have a piece, a couple pieces of the Nests of Winter designer paper. That's in the annual catalog. You can see the back has the little birds on it. But this, I tell you what, this is a great tip for you. If you need a little extra, and I do this layout once in a while, sometimes I will use a full piece of DSP, but I can only get 9 pieces or 9 cards out of one piece. But if you cut 1/2-inch strips by 4 inches, you can get 36 cards. That's 2 pieces per card, 36 cards out of a sheet of designer paper as opposed to 9. And no one will know that you only use strips instead of a whole piece. That's a really good tip if you're making a lot of cards, or if you only have a little bit of designer paper, either way. Okay, and then I used the new 3-banner punch to punch a little flag banner. So first we're gonna grab our garden green, and we're going to stamp some stems. And I'm gonna start with kind of this thick stem, and we're gonna go off the paper a little bit. And I think I'm gonna do 2 of these big ones here. We'll do one set over here, and then we might use it again. We'll see. I'm going to then do a tall one here. We'll do a tall one kind of going this way, and maybe another one right there, not quite as tall. Okay, I'm also going to use garden green for my sentiment, so I'm going to do the Get Well Soon on my banner. That will be for the front. I'll put it on there so I can see a little better. And for the inside, I'm going to say, you're on my mind and in my heart. So we'll stamp that right there. Okay. Well, I'm going to close this for now. We're going to work on the floral card, and then we'll do a masculine version using the same sets. Okay, I'm going to go Melon Mambo for my tall flowers. And these sometimes I stamp off, but I wanted it really vibrant, so I'm going to stamp full strength right there. And do all these tall ones here. And then once we stamp, we can do a little, trying to not get my head right in the, right in the way. Trying to see if I can line it up. Let me get a little closer. You know what? I think I do need to stamp that off once. Let's try this again. Now, it's been a while since we had Stampery. That was the beginning of last month. My goodness. Whoa. I just stuck my finger in the ink. Okay. This did not go quite all the way. Let's just extend that stem just a little. OMG. I am making a mess. All right, we're gonna try it one more time. I have a backup paper. Good thing it's just paper, right? Okay, let's just wipe all the extra ink off and we're gonna give this one more shot. And hopefully, hopefully we can get our act together here. My goodness, I don't know why this is so hard today. I usually don't have this many problems. Okay, green, put away. Okay, let's give this another try. We're gonna do our outlines first, full strength. All right, I've got my cleaning rag, and we're gonna stamp off once. And can I see? Probably not, but we're just gonna stamp it over there. It's okay if it doesn't line up perfectly. Sometimes I just get lucky and it lines up. Really just looking at the top. Okay, we may add a little more flowers in there, but for now we're gonna move on to these two stems. So we're gonna go with Daffodil Delight, and we're gonna do our solid flowers first, and just get these kind of nestled into the leaves. Okay, and then we're gonna do crushed curry, because I do need a darker shade. It's hard to get, I didn't want to stamp up with the yellow because it's so light anyway. So let's do our darker shade in crushed curry. This one's a little easier to line up because it's not so tiny, even though it's not perfect, it's okay. All right, my goodness. That was a lot. Okay. So we could maybe fill in a little bit more, but I think we're good. So let's put our two strips on. We're going to put this on first. And I'm going to try to center this approximately. Okay, and then we'll do our top one. Trying to center that a bit. And that is perfect because it's going to overlap just a little bit. Okay. All right, now I have a little bit of this garden green kind of arrow ribbon. So we're going to tie a bow. little bit of a loopy bow. And trim off a little bit of the ends. I don't need it quite that long. And I'm going to just pop that up behind my sentiment. We'll use a glue dot. Okay. Just about like that, and then a couple dimensionals. And put that right about there. And I have, for embellishment, these tiny bead trinkets. So these, I'm gonna imagine these are gonna go when we get our new catalog. So if you want some of these, you might want to go ahead and grab 1 or 2 of them, just so you have them before they go out. Okay, so that is our feminine. Now let's pull in our other set of supplies. Same supplies. We're just gonna make this up as we go. But I'm not gonna do the flowers. I'm gonna use this. I hope this will fit on that piece of white. I'm thinking it will, but I can't guarantee it. Let's see. It will. All right, so we're gonna do this card going portrait. And I'm gonna stamp this. I need a bigger block. With Garden Green, I'm gonna stamp it up in the upper half. Okay, Garden Green, where are you? Okay. I'm just gonna get that centered. I love this image. I just think that is so pretty. Don't you? All right, now let's think. Do we want to do the same thing like that with the little banner and we put our ribbon, or we can do this across the bottom, maybe a couple strips like that, and our ribbon, yep, that's what we're gonna do. I like that. Okay. We're going to glue this right down the center. And we'll do a couple of these. This is 4 inches, so it won't go all the way to the edges. And they weren't cut like right next to each other, so they are not going to line up. We're not even going to try to line them up. We're just going to give them a little gap there. And then we'll do I wonder, hold on one second. Let me get a little bit. I have a piece. Oh, that's a card. Let me grab a little piece of this color, crushed curry, and my punch, and let's see how that would look. And our punch. Okay, I don't have a lot of scrap. This is from the two-tone. I'm just gonna, let me stamp one of those. I'm actually gonna do it in the lighter shade. Let's stamp both and see which looks better. Okay, get well soon. That's easier to see on that one for sure. Okay, and then we'll do one on the white. Okay, and we'll see which one looks better. That one or that one. You know what? I like this one. Okay, what shall we do with our ribbon? I'm we could tighten a bow. Let's tighten a bow. We'll use a bow either way. All right. Well, I don't know why I can't tie a bow. Okay, I've lost the ability between cards to tie a bow. It's the pressure of designing while people are watching. Maybe that's it. My goodness. I don't know why that's so hard. Okay, so we could do our bow here, but I don't think so. I think that's a little more feminine, and I don't really need to do that. This doesn't look quite as feminine because it's, you know, it's kind of hidden behind the tag. I'm looking for my glue dots. It's kind of hidden behind the banner part of it, so it doesn't look quite as feminine. And I could probably even do this as, you know, a back and forth, but sometimes it's just easier. Let's trim off our ends and get a couple dimensionals. Okay, we can save this for a tag later. All right, I like that. Let's find our lid for our glue, and then we can go ahead and put a bee on here. Okay. This glue dot's bigger than my tiny bee, so I'm folding it over a little bit. And you know what? Because it's for Kevin, we're going to give him 2 bees. So Laura, if you're watching, tell Kevin he's 2 bee worthy. Okay. And that's all behind there. We'll put that one maybe right here. Okay. There we go. Let's do our inside sentiment. I'm going to take this down and mail it today. Okay. Whoop. All right. So those are 2 cards using the same supply, a little more masculine, more feminine, but the same thing. So I would encourage you guys to try. I'm going to try that a little more often. It's when I have extra kits to kind of switch them up a little bit and make different cards. Who do we have on today? Carrie. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Kat. So that's it. That's our project for today. Another thing we could do, we actually, in the same set, have this longer, you know, a longer one. And you could actually do a couple of the crushed curry in there just to bring some of that. Let's do it. Now that I'm looking at it, because it doesn't really bring in much of the crushed curry color into our image. So I like bringing the colors into the focal point. Let's do a crushed curry one right there. I kind of like that. It's a little busier. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn the stem the other way. We're just doing a little overlap. Cute. And we have a little small one. Sometimes you're like, just stop. It's too much. It is a little much. I'm gonna do. I've already overlapped, so we're gonna do one more overlap right there, and one more right here. At this point, I should have stopped. Kevin. It'll be okay. We might add one more B. I would just stop. Don't add the color. It's not bad. It's just personal taste, right? All our cards are personal taste. That's what, that's the fun of exploring and trying new things. All right. That's all for today. Check back on, what's today? Thursday. Check back on Saturday. Now, I have a ton of cards in a stack over here, and it's in 2 piles. It's probably a foot high. I'm going to go through cards and show you all the cards that I have received. I'm going to show you swaps. I'm going to show you a lot of cards on Friday, so that if you see something you like, you could just pause the video or take a screenshot and then make it later. But I have a ton of cards that people have sent all the way from the fall through recently, and then swaps from my team, swaps from Stampery, and I just want to share those with you so I can get that stack of things put away. I'm trying to do some spring cleaning in my craft room, and I actually took a lot of pictures, but I don't have a lot of time to get those posted, so we're just going to do a video. So check back on Saturday morning for that. All right. Thanks everybody for stopping by, and don't forget to click subscribe so you don't miss out on future video. And then remember, when you place an order online with me of $50 or more, I'm going to send you a kit of that month's card class projects for free. All right. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.